Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, hey, hey.
Stutter, my brother, what's happening?
Hey, fantasy, in session. We talking touchdowns, receptions, interceptions. They got a band and kicker. We need that correction. Talk them out. We flexing. How many of y'all you collect? We trying to get that winning record. Fantasy, in session. Fantasy, in session. Fantasy, in session. Fantasy, in session. Fantasy, in session.
Remix.
You about to run it back. What? You about to run it back, man?
Well,
Yeah.
What I do?
and we back. It's week 4. Time to go. How about a freestyle?
You know.
all I can do.
He started doing that. What it is, hope is what it should be. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy in Session, the podcast. Today is the first day of October the 1st. I guess I just repeated that. I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, man, wherever you listen to this at, if you haven't subscribed, man, make sure you subscribe. If you haven't liked, make sure you like. If you haven't left a comment, make sure you leave a comment. We got something special coming for y'all this weekend. You know what I'm saying? One of the first rundowns, so make sure y'all be tuned in for that. And yeah, man, let's go ahead and give the moment of silence out because we forgot about it last time. I don't want to ever forget about that. A special shout out to the Black Kings and Queens out there. And we back. All right, man. And we back now. So, man, Thursday night football happened. It was actually a pretty good game. Trevor Lawrence looked like he was like an NFL quarterback out there, man. I'm sorry for any disrespect that I sent your way last episode if you was listening to it. You know what I'm saying? He came out there and balled out. That pass that he threw to Adu, or whatever his name was on the sideline.
Agnew. Oh, yeah, that was dope as fuck.
That was fire.
Toe drag, swag.
Yeah, but that was a great throw too.
All the hate spew was towards Urban Meyer more than anything. I think we can all agree that Trevor Lawrence ain't the problem. You know what I mean? So it was good to see him rushing the ball more. You know, that was part of his game in college. He really wasn't rushing the ball at all through the first 3 weeks. So that was good to see. And, you know, that's always going to help for fantasy production.
And the kid got moves. You did.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. They surprised me out there, bro. I'm expecting it to be a blowout, bro. And they had them against the ropes the whole game. They led. Now, Bengals didn't lead all game until they won it with that field goal. So it just lets you know that they looked better yesterday.
Status update. All that shit Javar was talking about, the projections. He losing in pretty much all those projections now after just one game. So
damn. Well, to be fair, in one league he did have chart going, so that does suck for you, man.
And in another league, in secret right now, Julio just went out and he's still only projected is 50-50. And I ain't putting nobody in the slot, so that's how sorry his team is.
We're gonna come back next week, and yeah, you're gonna have a
bro, come on, bro. You can't be conceding the damn game already, bro.
Did he concede?
I said we're gonna come back next week, and Gay gonna have a sad face again because he done lost.
Oh, sorry, I didn't let you finish. I'm about to say I thought you was throwing in the towel. I'm like, damn, bro.
No.
That does suck, bro. For anybody with Chark, man, like to go out that early in the game, bro, is nothing that you can do as a fantasy player to do. You can't do nothing about that, bro. So I feel like I wouldn't be opposed to like a rule going forward that like if your player gets hurt like in the first quarter or some shit like that, you have like a backup. You announce it before the games start, and that backup takes place. But we don't, so it just sucks.
I also want to say, I know we said don't start Laviska Shenault. I think I said it. He wasn't one of my favorite starts, but he had a good game yesterday. I think it was mainly due to Chark being out so early in the game, though. But you know, with Chark being out for the season, with that being declared, I think he broke his ankle. If I'm not mistaken. Ankle. So that should leave that much of a target, that much of a target share for Laviska Shenault now. How you feel about him going forward?
I agree, man. I agree with you. Like the process was right. I wasn't really anywhere I had Shenault. I wasn't starting him because he hasn't really shown nothing through the first 3 weeks. His 8-hour was super low, and he actually got a target downfield yesterday, so it was great to see that. And yeah, with Chark being out for the rest of the year, I think him and Marvin Jones, even though Marvin Jones didn't do anything yesterday, I think going forward though they should be the top two options in the passing game.
Yeah, I like it. On the other side of the ball, we saw Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had a connection with Tyler Boyd. T. Higgins wasn't out. He looked great. Jamar Chase looked great. Joe Mixon, he started to pick it up toward the end of the game. Then I think he got hurt in the fourth quarter. He didn't really play toward the end of the game. He was on the sidelines. Not much news came out about that. Have you seen anything?
I haven't. So still waiting to hear on that, but. It was kind of concerning, bro. Like we talked about coming into the year and throughout the first 3 weeks of how he, we were hoping that he was using the pass game. He was in week 1, but especially in that first half, I don't know if it's switched in the second half, but Samaje Perine was taking all of the third down snaps.
Yeah,
so I just don't understand why he's doing that. Like he's not, unless Joe Mixon is just a horrible pass blocker. I don't understand why you would take Mixon off the field on passing down plays because that shit just doesn't make sense to me, bro. Samaje Perine is not better than Joe Mixon in any part of the running game or passing game. So it's weird.
I wonder how healthy he was coming into the game in the first place. You know what I mean?
You talking about Mixon?
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't on any type of practice report, so I'm not sure, man. But it's just like his passing game usage has been going down every week since that week 1, so there's definitely concern to see if it keeps up. Then he's going to be back in that RB2 range, bro. Like so, that's crazy. One more thing I did want to talk about before we moved on was the James Robinson. He had the backfield to himself.
Yep.
And he reminding everybody why he was a beast last year and why they shouldn't have spent a first round pick. How do y'all feel going forward?
Shout out to Javar calling him an RB2.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he disrespected him even more. I think he called him RB4 or something like that. But let me ask this question before we get.
Okay, go ahead.
Should I trade Tyreek Hill, Chase Edmonds, and Marvin Jones for Mike Evans, Antonio Gibson, Robert Woods?
No, man, hold up.
It's a lot going on.
3 for 3, man. That's kind of. I hate those 3 for 3 trades where it's all the same players. What is it?
Nah,
I like the Tyreek Hill.
Running back.
Keep Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill over Mike Evans. Chase Edmonds is scoring the same amount of points as Gibson, and he's a solid running back 2 at the moment. So if you got Chase Edmonds as your running back 2, that's cool. And Marvin Jones as your running back, as your wide receiver 2 or 3. At the moment, I like Marvin Jones over Robert Woods. So I like.
That's what I would lean to. Just the main factor is because Tyreek Hill is the best player in that deal, and I'm always a fan of having the best player in a deal. So, and it's a 3 for 3, so it's not like you're giving up a lot, or you actually have Tyreek Hill already. So, yeah, I would keep Tyreek Hill and the other pieces that you have.
Don't get scared off from that. I know he had 2 bad weeks in a row, but we'll get to that this episode. But yeah, I keep that spot. But back to Jabbar. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you leave a like if you ain't already left a like. Back to what you were saying about Joe Mixon, it is a little alarming, but hopefully he didn't come into week 4 as healthy. You know what I mean? So that could be something. I also want to talk about CJ Uzomah. I think we was talking about James Robinson. Damn. But anyway, James Robinson. Yeah. Shout out to Jabbar.
He got the bulk of the work of the carries and everything, and it was similar to that usage last year. But Carlos Hyde wasn't like a healthy scratch. They said his shoulder was hurting or something when he got to the stadium, so they decided to make him inactive. So if he's back in the game next week, then I don't think we're going to see the same type of usage from James Robinson. So if it's somebody out there that wants to pay RB1 prices, I wouldn't be opposed to that, bro, because I mean this is the first game all year when he got this type of usage, and it had to be when Carlos Hyde was out. So unless they make him healthy scratches.
He got less usage last week and still produced to this volume. I think it was one, it was a Thursday. They didn't want to play that early off a Thursday, and 2, we just seen James Robinson dominate. They didn't have to give him the ball as much as they did. You know what I mean?
They had nobody else to give it to,
or they could have just threw the ball. You know what I mean? They could,
but then they wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been a close game.
They've been not running the ball all year. You know what I'm saying? Even with Carlos Hyde being,
so that's what I'm saying. When Carlos Hyde is back, he's gonna probably get some of those touches too, bro. This is the first game all year we've seen him have that type of usage that he had last year, and it was because of Hyde being out, bro. So
Laviska Shenault or Marvin Jones for the rest of the season.
I'm going Marvin.
I'm going Marvin.
Marvin gonna have
consistent.
The higher upside with the touchdowns, but Laviska, he did look good last night, man. That's a hard one, bro, for me. But I'm going Marvin with the upside.
Since DJ Chark is out, I'm thinking about trading Robert Woods for Laviska. Like, you have Robert Woods, or you
I would keep him.
I would keep Laviska.
Robert Woods. No, he's thinking about trading Robert Woods for Laviska. I would keep Woods. I mean,
you think Woods gets back on track this season? I mean,
he's probably not going to be what we're used to seeing for him, but I think he'll just be more like have more of a stable floor than Laviska. Personally,
I think
it's still a
I think he's a touch of a better offense,
and eventually, exactly. So
let's shake it right there.
I already did the trade, by the way. I got scammed. If you gave up Tyreek Hill, probably so, bro.
Oh yeah.
But if you
follow us on Twitter, bro, and you can hit us up for trade questions, man.
And you won't get scammed again. But since you already, that's hard. Laviska might have a little bit more upside than Robert Woods, but
yeah, check out.
They keep targeting him down the field, but remember we were talking about his ADOT being so low, bro, and they finally gave him a target downfield. So I mean, but
Shark is out.
I got to see it more than one target.
Right, but Shark is out. He ain't gonna have a chance next week. Next week, if she gets more targets down the field, the dude might not want to trade Laviska for Woods.
Let's get y'all got anything else from the Thursday game? We got a little bit of news since last time we potted, you know what I mean? So let's just go ahead and go through that just in case we didn't get to those games. If I already got to it, or if I didn't get to the games, we'll talk about it in the games if I already got to it, you know what I mean? So don't stop me. Or stop me if we start talking about it. Tyler Lockett is going to be playing on Sunday. He should be good. We already talked about DJ Chark going out. Kyle Shanahan said Kittle is not guaranteed to play on Sunday. That's the alarming. Jamison Crowder is expected to play on Sunday. Elijah Moore is out week 4 with a concussion. Elijah Mitchell is in doubt week 4. He's still dealing with shoulder pain. Curtis Samuel is a full go for Sunday. Antonio Gibson is a full go. They both practiced today. Gronk practiced today, which is Friday if you're listening. Lamar Jackson practiced today.
No, the Gronk is doubtful.
He returned to practice today, though.
Yeah, he's doubtful.
But he's still doubtful. Okay, yeah. But I think he's still going to play. Maybe if they practice on Friday, that's what I'd be looking for. If you practice on Friday, I feel like
less than 5% chance of players being doubtful playing in the game. So that's
he's listed as doubtful.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I thought you were saying he's still doubtful. I didn't know he was listed as doubtful. Safe to assume that Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton will be out. Dalvin Cook already ruled out. Dalvin Cook was at the practice field, so he is still questionable for Sunday. But if you got
ruled out, not just playing.
I was about to say, oh man,
I'm about to cry right there. Well, I got his back up where I got.
But I was about to jump for joy. Oh man. Giovanni Bernard out week 4. That's good news if you still got one of those Tampa Bay running backs. Russell Gage is ruled out for week 4. Let me see. Julio Jones and AJ Brown, the big news. Both of them will be out week 4. So that's a big pivot. That's so gross. We'll get to that this week. Christian McCaffrey is out for Sunday's game, so Chuba Herbert fire him up. Choo-choo. The Bears still don't know who they're going to start at quarterback. I wouldn't know either after looking at that. That's pretty gross. Darrell Henderson will play on Sunday against the Cardinals after missing last week. Chase Claypool didn't practice today. He's listed as questionable. Juju doesn't have an injury designation. He's going to play. Carson Wentz is questionable. Deontay Johnson is not on the injury list. Damn, it's a lot of people. Melvin Gordon is questionable for Sunday, and I think that's it. Hey man, it's getting to that grind. A lot of people getting hurt out there.
Exactly. We did have a couple more questions before we get started. Thanks for the question, Kenny. Make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, bro. If you like what you're hearing. Should I trade Mixon for Jonathan Taylor and Ayuk? I would do that.
I would say yes.
Yes.
I would definitely like to, because I think Ayuk is coming on, especially if George Kittle, you know what I'm saying, starts to lose a little bit of time. And we've seen Ayuk come up with the target. And Debo is so violent, bro. It's like he plays like he's bound to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish injury on any player, but I definitely think
he is starting to come around. But even if he wasn't, bro, I feel like mixing for Jonathan Taylor is almost a wash. And then you're getting another player who showed you what his upside was last year. So I would do that trade definitely.
Yep. Make sure you like and subscribe. Shout out to Blue Chew. Blue Crew. I thought it was Blue Crew.
This is Blue Crew.
Hey, make sure you like and subscribe. 1.5 point PPR, 12 team super flex. Start Devontae Smith or Brandon Cooks.
Cooks. 35% target share through 3 weeks. I'm not saying that.
And I'm just not trusting Hurts right now. He's not really getting the ball to his playmakers like that. I
do like Devontae Smith this week. I just don't like him better than Cooks.
It's not a lot of people I like better than Cooks right now.
Wale, thanks for the question, bro. Make sure to like and subscribe. Should I start Brandon Cooks, Kareem Hunt, Pittman Jr., Jacoby, A-Rod? God damn, that's a lot of names, bro. Or
all these people in your
flex. Just one?
Yeah.
I might. For me, it's between Hubert or Cooks for me, bro. But I'm probably just go with
Hubbard, motherfucker.
I'm gonna just go with Herbert. And the flex, getting close to 17 touches, should be pretty good in that good offense.
I would go full PPR. I'm going Cooks. Yeah, I'm going Cooks. We don't know what that passing usage is gonna look like for Chubbard. I do think he's gonna get a lot of touches. I would even like Hunt over Chubbard. I mean Hubbard. I think Chubbard is a better name. Fuck it, your name Chubbard now.
Just combine both his names.
Yeah. I like Hunt over Chubbard though, for real. If that was the choice, but I do like Cooks over all of those because we know he's guaranteed the targets in full PPR. That's what you're looking for.
And no, you got a good problem to have, bro. But just to put it in order, it sounds like it's Cooks, Hunt,
Schubert.
Yeah.
Schubert, Hubbard.
Yeah.
And then A-Rod.
A-Rod, Pittman, Jacoby. That's how I rank them.
For sure.
One more question before we get into the breakdown. Kenny, what a follow-up. Would you prefer mixing for Taylor and Ayuk or Taylor and Devontae Smith? I personally would like Taylor and Devontae Smith better just because I know Devontae Smith is he has like a 25% target share already. He's just going to keep getting better.
I actually will.
Goes on.
If you keep listening to the show, I think we talked about the Philly. I think I got that game right. Because if you
25% target share, 24, 20,
actually, Jalen Reagor has a higher target share than Devontae Smith. That was one of my nuggets for the show, but I let it go. That's what I wanted to jump in.
That's what I would prefer over him.
I would like the Ayuk still.
Oh shit,
me personally. Make sure you like and subscribe, keep listening. You know what I'm saying when we get to that game. Shit. I don't know. I think Carlos started off, but let's get into the episode with the first game. If you're listening to this, it's your first time listening to this, the best game by game fantasy football breakdown in the land. If you don't hear the game you're looking for on this episode, go listen to the last episode or check out FF in session this weekend, man. We're gonna have our first primer up for you guys. But anyway, the first game we get into is the Tennessee Titans at the Jets, right?
Yep.
The Titans 7 points favorites with an over under 44. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Julio and AJ are both out. That is gross. So what are you doing in this game, Los? How are you treating this game?
Well, that's the top two options. So it's not a lot of talent out there receiver wise for him. So I'm ranking Tannehill as like a fringe starter this week. Still think he's a solid option in QB2 leagues, but I believe there's other options if you're in a 1 QB league. Last week was the first week all year that he scored over 20 points, and I think it happened because of 56 rush yards, because he threw for 200 or less than 200 yards and also added 2 interceptions. So with AJ Brown and Julio out this week, I don't think they're going to be needing Tannehill like that against the Jets. And also the Jets, on paper, they're stout against the pass, allowing the second fewest points. But I believe that is because teams have been blowing the Jets out, and they just don't need to pass like that against them. They could just, run it down the throat. So Fringe starter for me, but still okay as a QB2. Another fringe, just out of necessity, is the Westbrook Ikain. I don't know if I said that right.
You know not to ask me.
Just go with Westbrook. So I mean, he led the team in receiver yards last week with AJ Brown out and then Julio missing like pretty much the whole second half. So he should see the volume this week, even though it's probably not going to be that much. But if you have Julio or AJ Brown, you don't have a lot of options on waivers, and you just need somebody to slide in your lineup, then I think he is going to lead the team in receiver yards this week. So still a fringe starter for me though. I think he's more of like maybe like a DFS play really.
Yeah, I wouldn't force him in my lineups. I know, like it's I know it looks good with all the wide receivers being out. You think he's going to get all the targets, but like you said, this could be easily a Derrick Henry run for 5,000 yards.
Even talk about Derrick Henry. He might just be the RB1 this week because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So on to the Jet side, it's pretty slim over here. Also,
Slim Pickens.
Michael Carter is a sit, but I just wanted to talk about him because he is. I just wanted to bring him up because he started to take over the backfield, played the most snaps, and has the most opportunities over the last 2 weeks. So don't drop him, man. I think he's gonna like continue to get more involved in the offense and maybe be more solid like in that second half of the year. Also has the most yards after contact per attempt, missed tackles forced, and highest elusive rating on the team. So he is the best guy out there. It's just they suck really bad, so he's not getting a lot of opportunities.
I know that that a lot of people. Well, I've been off Corey Davis the last couple of weeks because he's been playing like the Phantom of the Opera in defenses in both weeks. How do you feel about him going in this game?
Well, I mean, I had him down as a fringe starter, but I think he could be safely started as a wide receiver 3 this week now that Elijah Moore is going to be out. Because you remember Elijah Moore was pretty involved in the offense, and Corey Davis led the team in targets last week, and now has a 21% target share through 3 games. So I think he's a decent wide receiver 3. I guess it depends on your other options, but with that type of value, I think he could be solid as a wide receiver 3. And of course, the Jets are heavy underdogs, so they're going to have to throw to keep up with the Titans, and they're allowing the second most points to receivers. So seeing the volume, good matchup. I think he's a pretty good play as a wide receiver 3 this week.
It sounds good in theory, but that Zach Wilson boy, he doesn't even look bad. It's just that Jets offense, it looks garbage.
Yeah,
like
man.
That offensive line looks terrible. He got an arm on him now. I do think he still has potential. I haven't given up on the Zach Wilson like in dynasty formats. I don't think he's a trade. I think he's going to look good like as he gets more. He got to stop forcing the ball into places like where he could do at BYU. Like you can't do that in the NFL. Like everybody's a NFL talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
that's all I got. Everybody else is said I'm not starting Zach Wilson. Jamison Crowder maybe, but it is his first game back, so I would like to see it first on the field. And no tight ends and no other running backs. So
it's not really looking good for the Jets offense. They only have like 4 or 5 decent games where they play a somewhat easy defense to rest on, or like Buffalo. Of course, they come from Miami, Philly, New Orleans. So it's gonna be rough for them this year. They play some tough defenses.
All right, now let's get into the next game. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Philadelphia Eagles, with the Chiefs being 7.5 point favorites with a 54.5 point over under. If I was a betting man, I would be scared off of these points because every time that Philly has been in one of these high over under games, they've been disappointing. So I would pump your brakes. That's just if I was betting the over under. I would take the points though. I would take Kansas City I'm talking about I would take Kansas City winning with the points. But Mahomes, man, now has thrown. I looked this up; it was crazy to me. Multiple interception games in just 5 times in his 4 years. That's a crazy number. And last week against the Chargers, he did throw 2 interceptions. He gets the Eagles with the 6 in passing yards allowed with only 181. But it's Mahomes, so what does that matter? He had a bad games for Mahomes standards and still scored 20+ points. So of course you fire him up out there. CEH with his first 100-yard rushing game since week 1 in his rookie year. 17 rushes, 100 yards, 2 receptions, and 9 yards for a touchdown. Carlos, I remember Carlos when he got that reception touchdown. Carlos said, "Look what happened when you get targets. You got 2 targets."
Wait,
Hey, we see what he did. I mean, you see what he did though.
he had that text message.
He also looked way better on the ground too, right?
Yeah. What happened when he get touches? CEH has only seen over 4 targets 5 times in his whole career, so the targets just doesn't look like that's something that they want to give him. This will be a great game to try it out against the Eagles, who are giving up the 12th most fantasy points to the running back position with 18 a game and 133 yards on the ground. And he was one of the best passing receiving backs out of college, so I don't see why they don't do it to him. I mentioned Tyreek Hill with his 2 quiet games. 2 quiet games in a row, only 11 targets in 2 weeks. That's coming off a 15 target week 1. He will be against Avonte Maddox, who is graded a 79 by PFF and covering the slot where Tyreek spends a lot of his time at, but he's being targeted 23% of the time. So you just got to keep riding that wave until he gets back on board, man. Travis Kelce, always doing Travis Kelce shit, so you got to start him. On the other side of the ball, Jalen Hurts, man, number 5 in most most fantasy football rankings. 39 attempts last week, 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 9 rushes for 35. Most of those coming in garbage time, and he didn't look good for most of that game. Like if you had Jalen Hurts as your starting quarterback, you was throwing up like the whole first half. Like you was happy when he came out there and he was doing that bullshit at the end. Unless he didn't throw the ball to Dallas Goedert the whole second half, and Zach Ertz kept getting the ball, and then you lose by 0.12. But anyway,
Yeah, he did look bad as a passer. It sucks. They're not really helping him out too much either, though. You don't see any type of motion, any type of like roll. I mean, I guess you see a little bit more rollouts, but it's no type of no motion, 5-step dropbacks, bro. Like it's I don't know, bro. It's like these coaches don't want to conform their game plan to their quarterback, bro. Like it's not no traditional quarterback.
They're not even running the ball. It's just weird. Like you got what? Why not? I just take a page out of 49ers when they had Cap and Frank Gore. You got just keep doing the option. You gonna mess them up. That's all you gotta do is the option. It's simple. I need to be a head coach. Sign me up.
Speaking of not running the ball, Miles Sanders only rushed twice last week. And only saw 4 targets, caught 3 of them for 28 yards. He now had 2 back-to-back weeks under 10 points, but he's still the number 36 in elusive rating and number 9 in breakaway percentage among running backs. So it's not Miles Sanders that sucks. The explosiveness is still there. Kenneth Gainwell is also playing 30% of the snaps. He caught 4 passes for 34 yards, or I think he got 4 touches for 34 yards. Between the 2 of them, they only had 3 red zone carries all year. That's another red flag that I saw when looking at them. They're not getting the touches in the red zone where it matters. Jalen Hurts is stealing a lot of touchdowns from them. Kansas City is, however, giving up the 3rd most fantasy points to the running back position, allowing 23 points to them a game, and they're tied for 2nd in touchdowns allowed to running backs on the ground. So hopefully this could be a game where one of the running backs get into the end zone. I like Miles Sanders. Kenneth Gainwell, he got to be a sit for me for now. The snap percentage he's playing is not good enough, and I thought he was getting more red zone carries than he was, but he's in the red zone. He's in the game when they're in the red zone a lot. He's just not getting the carries. Yeah, Jalen Hurts. On to the wide receivers we talked about, Devonta Smith and Jalen Reagor. After a big week 1 where he caught 6 passes, he only caught 5 in the last 2 weeks. Talking about Devonta Smith, and he's only being targeted on 18% of his routes ran. He will be seeing Mike Hughes or DeAndre Baker on the outside, who are both middle of the road cornerbacks, giving up a 65% catch rate. Both over a 65% catch rate. Both of them are. Jalen Reagor is being targeted on more routes than Devonta Smith, on 20% of his routes, and he has ran 18 less routes than Smith. So when he's on the field and running,
it looks a little inflated. That's why I would say that. So,
but I would say
Devonta does have a higher target share. But Jalen Reagor is targeted on more of his routes because he's
only 18, though. Only 18.
Yeah, it's not that much, but I mean, they're targeting Devonta Smith farther down the field, also 15 compared to 8. So it's still Devonta Smith, the guy out there, and he's getting more air yards than him. But I mean, Jalen Reagor, he's
startable.
Okay he's been okay this year.
I think that's what I'm saying. And Kansas City is giving up the 6th most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. So I think both of them are startable for me. Quez Watkins still haven't seen over 3 targets. I know when he does touch the ball, it's explosive, but you can't start that. Nothing more than DFS play for me. The tight end situation is pretty gross. Last week, Goddard played 59% of the snaps, and Ertz played 52%. Ertz has seen more of the targets this season. 7, and Goddard only seen 4 last week. The volume is now split, which we thought Goddard was going to get most of the volume because we thought Zach Ertz would be traded to Zimbabwe or somewhere. I don't know. The Chiefs have given up 16 receptions to the tight end position off 20 targets and allowed 232 yards, but they haven't allowed a touchdown yet, and so that's one of the big things. With the volume being as low as it is from Jalen Hurts, I don't know how you can fully start both of them, but I feel like at this point, if you got Goddard, you probably don't have too many pivot points unless you can find something on the waiver wire maybe. And even if something on the waiver wire, I probably wouldn't start over Goddard just because of the potential for him to get one of those tight end 1 games. So, but Zach Ertz getting 7 targets, I feel like you can start Zach Ertz too. I feel like that's who he throws the ball to because he trusts the tight ends.
I don't know, bro. I really don't want to start either of them. For real.
Just watching them play though, like you can clearly see anybody with a post can clearly see that Goddard is better than Ertz at this stage of their careers, bro. Like Goddard got like how many yards after the catch, bro, compared to Ertz last week, bro? It's like night and day, bro. So I don't understand it, bro. It's weird.
So if you have them and you want to start them as a tight end, I feel like you can. But if you have other options, I would definitely start other options. Would you start Jared Cook or Dallas Goedert?
Goddard.
Yeah,
it's still names like that. You're not starting like let's go with another one. Jonnu Smith or Goddard?
Goddard.
One last one. Hunter Henry or Goddard?
The same team, Goddard.
Yeah.
You got a little quick question.
They're facing the same problem. Freaking Jonas Smith and Hunter Henry.
Exactly, but that's all I got from that game. We can get on to the next game. We got the Gibson or Swift. I don't know. Gibson got a good matchup this week.
Yeah, Gibson played the Falcons this week.
I don't care.
But Swift is he's the number 2 target getter on the team.
He played the Bears.
He's leading the running backs in targets too. So and you get the coach saying that he's going to get more opportunities going forward. So it's definitely Swift for me.
What's up, Boss Man, Fat Man? If you ain't already subscribing, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like. Do whatever they do when they do what they do. But anyway, man, on to the next game. We got the Seattle Seahawks at the 2.5 point favorite at 49ers with an over under 52 points. A lot of points being scored here. Russell Wilson almost did it. Only 2 yards shy of a 300-yard game last week, but they've lost. You know what I'm saying? They're 1-2, and we already know what it looks like when the coaches go when the Seahawks start losing. And Pete Carroll feel like Russell Wilson is throwing the ball too much. So, are you scared that they'll stop cooking, Jabbar? Like I think that's what people are scared of. Like the Russell Wilson experience might be over a little bit.
No, I still think Russ is a must start against this tough defensive line. He will cook against the 49ers. They're giving up the 6th most points to quarterbacks in PPR leagues. So I think you gotta roll Russ back out there. He one of the top quarterbacks so far this year in fantasy. Chris Carson is always a must start in this offense that scores. He has scored 3 touchdowns through 3 games. So he's going to get a couple red zone touches each week. He's always locked and loaded in running back 2 spot. Wide receivers on this team, the 49ers are giving up 7 most points to wide receivers in PPR. Lockett will have down weeks like he did last week, but he will also have great weeks like in week 1. So he is always startable. If he's playing, you can never leave him on the bench. DK should be leading the team in targets moving forward and be more consistent. So you're starting both of those guys. Everett, he doesn't have a good matchup, nor does he see enough targets. So you got to sit that guy.
He's out of here.
All right.
What about your boy Will Disley? Yo!
So
what the fuck was that?
Oh no,
he wasn't ready for a joke. He was in like analyst mode. Boy.
Hey, if you don't know, the joke is that Javar thought that Gerald Everett was going to be a good tight end this year.
Yeah, he looking like he's washed. Anything
looking
else
like
on
the
this
rest
side
of the tight ends? Nope. I think that covers it.
I'm just
hoping
that
stash Alex Collins though. He's been getting some good playing time. Carson, has a history of being nicked up, so that's one of those stash players if he's available out there and you got room on your bench.
I think Chris Carson is also a great buy right now because, like I said, man, if the Seahawks keep losing, they're not going to keep throwing the ball. Like Russell Wilson is not going to keep throwing the ball. That's like we've seen it over the years. Pete Carroll is going to find a way to run the ball, and with the division being as close as it is, like Seattle has to win because the Rams are winning and the Cardinals are winning. So
I don't know. I think I'm on the opposite, bro. Like I would sell him high because he scored every single week, which is not going to happen every week. And he's not being targeted like he was last year. So without those touchdowns, bro, he's in that RB3 range, bro. Like even if he starts running the ball more and he's still not getting targets like he was last year, it's going to be in that RB2 range. So I would sell high off these touchdowns that he's been getting, man, because he's going to be like an RB3 if he doesn't score based on his usage that he's getting right now.
I can dig it. Moving on to the 49ers, you got your boy Jimmy G. He has starter appeal in quarterback 2 leagues, but not one. He's going against a tough defense that allowed around 20 points per game to quarterbacks. He's a back-end quarterback 2 on a run-heavy team.
Start Trey Lance, please, Jesus.
Bro. God damn.
Shake it up. If Mitchell plays, he's a great flex play. I heard his injury would just be due to if it hurts or not to him. So it's all predicated on him. So
pause. That was
we got 2 days for that. We'll go with Sherman is a good flex play if he plays. If he does not play Sherman, I still got Sherman as a running back 3. They're gonna find somebody else to get the ball to. But if either one of them play, you got to start them up in the flex. The Seahawks have allowed the most fantasy points to running backs this year, so that should be very helpful for you. So definitely start both of those guys as they play. Moving on, Debo is a must start as he leads the teams in reception and yards. Ayuk is still not showing up. We're sitting that guy. Kittle was more involved last week, and his fantasy production showed. Hopefully, he can keep it rolling this week as the Seahawks is the eighth most points allowed to tight ends in the PPR leagues.
You said Ayuk is not. I don't know, man. I think he got pretty involved last week. That what you said?
He got more involved than he was getting. He did like his routes ran, I think, ticked up too. Also, but he only got 6 targets and what he had like 30 yards. Just that touchdown deodorant made him look a little better. But I don't think
good. That was a good 30 yards.
Being banged up though, bro. Like
for sure.
I think he's a start as a flex, wide receiver 3/flex.
I like it.
I wouldn't be mad at it, but you can roll with it.
So you would be mad at it?
No, not too bad. Flex because people start like who you starting in your flex. Brandon Ayuk or
Christian Kirk?
I'm going Kirk.
Brandon Ayuk or Sammy Watkins?
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I go with Ayuk.
Or Tim Patrick?
Tim Patrick. I might go Tim Patrick.
This is what people are thinking about, like this, because you at the back of your lineup at this point.
That's a good question right there. Tim Patrick or Ayuk too.
Yeah. Or like a Henry Ruggs.
37 and 38 right now, so right next to each other.
Henry Ruggs and Ayuk. Is this off the dome?
Oh, I'm going Henry Ruggs there. They're upside.
Ruggs looks pretty good.
Yeah, 7. I'll get to that game when we get there, but yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I got up on that game.
Yeah, I like it. I'll be on the lookout. If George Kittle doesn't play, I'm definitely starting Ayuk everywhere I can. James Robinson or Gibson. Well, James Robinson already played this week.
Yeah,
you can't throw him going forward. Yeah, I would go Gibson.
Going forward? If I'm traded-wise, I want Gibson.
Yeah, for sure.
On to the next game. I lost a little track of where I was at. That was rhyming. If you ain't know what timing it was. On to the next game. We got the Arizona Cardinals at the 4.5 point over 4.5 point favorite at Rams with an over under 54.5 points. Hey, they got a lot of good games this weekend, especially like the second half. The second half of the season. Yeah, bro. Like it almost makes me mad when I pay for the NFL ticket and like it'd be shitty games on the second half, and then I can't even watch the local games.
Can't even watch it. Yeah,
it makes me so mad. But anyway, man, Kyler Murray last week didn't throw a touchdown, but still ran for one. He gets that vicious Rams defense this week, who's only allowing 19 fantasy points to quarterbacks. How you feel about Kyler Murray in this game?
Start him.
Yeah.
I mean, they could give him fits, but I mean, come on now. You're thinking about sitting Kyler Murray at this point. So just be aware that it could be kind of ugly, but I think with that rushing upside, he'll be okay. Moving on to the running backs for Arizona, Chase Edmonds is a start for me. He's averaging 11.2 points per game in half PPR leagues, but he hasn't scored a touchdown yet. So the fact that he's averaging double-digit points, that just shows you or double-digit points without a touchdown just shows you what his floor is. We know the touchdowns are coming. So you just, I think anybody that has him is pretty happy with his production so far from where you drafted at. So blow-up game is coming, and it very well could be coming this week in this high over-under game. Also tied for third in targets among running backs, and he's still getting about 10 carries a game between the tackles. So super safe floor. Running back 2, I would say, with that RB1 upside if he scores a touchdown this week. Connor, I'm not starting him. Last week, I mentioned that he would need to be, a touchdown or bust. He would need to get a touchdown to be relevant. He got 2 of them. So, I mean, that's what you're banking on with James Conner. I don't think that's going to be the case this week because the Rams are not a bad rush defense. So, you're sitting him. As far as other starts to receiver, I'm going with Christian Kirk. He is a start for me. He's been the most productive receiver so far this year, averaging 14.5 points per game. Highest yards per route run at 303. Also leads all receivers on the Cardinals in catches, yards per reception, and average depth of target. And he's been targeted on 22% of his routes. So Ramsey has been playing a lot of slot, and that's where Kirk plays. But with Hopkins in town this week, I think it's safe to assume that Ramsey is going to be on Hopkins this week. So that will be great news for Kirk. It will make life way easier for him in that slot. And so if that happens, I think he's a solid wide receiver 2 this week. Back end up wide receiver 2, front end wide receiver 3 for Kirk. No outright sits except Connor for the Cardinals. French players, of course, you're going to start DeAndre Hopkins, but I am tempering expectations this week. He's third on the team in targets behind Christian Kirk and AJ freaking Green somehow. But good news is he has ran the most routes so far. So it sucks to see it's more options out there, but it is good that he's out there running routes. And he's also been dealing with a rib injury that's clearly limited him last week. He only had 21 yards on 3 catches, so that's not good news. And then, of course, you got the Ramsey situation. He's probably going to be shadowing him. So he has pretty much had his way almost. Like, he had no, like, Hopkins games on him. But, I don't think he's just going to shut Hopkins down if he is healthy. So I'm hoping that the rib injury does, heal up a little bit more for him so he can be closer to that 100%. And then AJ Green is another French start for me, averaging 6 targets a game so far. And he had a breakout game last week, catching 5 of his 6 targets for 112 yards. He's played 86% of his snaps on the right side. They're one of the teams that don't move around their receiver, so he's going to be on that right side pretty much all game. So his primary matchup will be against David Long Jr., who's only allowing a 58% catch rate. So I guess, yeah, that's why he's a French starter. I guess that's why he's a French starter. So flex play this week if you need another option out there in a potential shootout. Always elevate players a little bit more if they're going to be in this high scoring game. So that's why I think he's a French start.
How do you feel about your boy Rondale Moore after the trap game last week? Everybody started him after the big game, and then he came out and disappointed last week.
And that's always going to be the case for him, bro. Because I mean, if you're 4th on the team in routes run, bro, it's just you're going to be volatile. So of course, when he's out there and he gets these targets, then of course he's going to have great games because he's a playmaker, bro. But you're playing with fire until we see him get on the field more and run more routes. Then I am going to sit him until I see more opportunities for him.
How long has Jalen Ramsey been there? It's like 3 years, probably since 2018.
I thought it was just
no. I'm talking about
he played 1 full year last year, and then I think he got traded to the Rams the year before last, like in the middle of the year.
All right, so in the last, let's go with just the last 3 games. DeAndre Hopkins has scored at least 15 points in the games against the Rams that he played except one. So he missed. In the last 4 games, he played 3 of them. He scored 5 points in one of them, and then 15 in the other 2. So it's not like I don't know why people are so scared off of him. And it's
the thing is, and this is why I always bring up like primary matchup and even in shadow situations, it's not going to be 100% of the time that he's on D-Hop. I heard Mike Clay earlier today say that last year, I don't know about the previous 2 times, but last year in Ramsey's coverage, he only has, I think 6 targets, and he had like 53 yards in Ramsey's coverage. So Ramsey does do a good job on Hopkins. You're just hoping that he gets most of his production when he's not on Ramsey. So that's just something to keep in mind.
For sure.
We got another one.
Shout out to Ricardo. Milo's my hero. Make sure you subscribe and follow the podcast if you haven't already. Should I trade Gibson and Thielen for McCaffrey?
No,
I wouldn't do it.
Not now.
Yeah,
I can't trade for her players, bro.
Thielen on fire, bro. He's a touchdown machine. Gibson will come along eventually. He getting all the carries in the backfield, and it's going to amount to something. He's talented.
Yeah.
Shout out
if he was
to
healthy,
Cal.
bro. If he was healthy, I'm taking McCaffrey. I don't care what
Right.
or Thielen do. I'm taking McCaffrey, but it's not the case. So.
No.
Shout out to Kyle Ellis. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Leave a like. 10-team PPR trade hunt for Pitts. I don't think Hunt ever gets in my lineup. Meanwhile, Pitts would every week. Yes, trade.
Yeah,
for
I'll
Pitts.
do that.
Full PPR for sure.
And it's a 10-man league. You're not gonna.
Pitts and Fent for the rest of the season. Full PPR.
I'm gonna go Fent. He getting fed, but Judy is gonna come back. Ooh, and he gonna hurt.
He's gonna come back, but it's no telling how long it's gonna take for him to get back into game shape. And with Hamler also being out for the year,
yeah, I like Fent.
Yeah, I like Fent. Their offense look a lot much better than the Falcons.
Yeah, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Martin Victorious just crossed 100 subs. Nice. Do you guys do anything? Did we do anything? We got an episode 100 coming, I think, next Friday. So we'll probably do something, you know what I'm saying, a little special celebration.
Did y'all know we got 100 subs already?
I looked at
I knew that.
Yeah.
I just posted it on Twitter, man. If you 101, shout out to you, bro. Or if you was already in 100, shout out to the first 100.
Appreciate you, Mark.
And one more before we get back to the breakdown. Ricardo, my hero. Should I try it all traded for McCaffrey? The answer is yes. Always try to get McCaffrey. You know what I'm saying? Especially if the owner is not high on McCaffrey right now, but I just wouldn't give up.
No starters.
Yeah, I wouldn't give up. And I would give up. You got to give up a starter for McCaffrey, but I just wouldn't. Give up 2. I wouldn't give up 2. I mean, I think Thielen is a good piece to throw in there. I feel like Thielen is extendable, but it would be the running back that I would give him.
Imagine
I would try
if you
to
did that last year on the assumption that McCaffrey came back and you did that shit last year. Came back for one game and missed all year. I just don't like trading for hurt players just for that reason, bro.
Especially when it's like when it's something like the hamstring that lingers, bro. So that's what I'm worried. It's the hamstring. It ain't nothing.
The soft tissue.
Right. So that's what I'm really worried about. And you have 2 solid players in Thielen and Gibson that you would need, and that's playing this week. So I would just stay put. Appreciate the sub.
Appreciate the sub.
He did say Thielen was on his bench though, so I mean, I guess if he's a bench player, and you're not starting him every week. Maybe yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so just
this the last one before we get into the breakdown. Emmanuel Sanders versus the Texans or Juju at Green Bay. That's a Big Ben looks so ass. I just can't I can't, bro. I can't.
If it's full PPR, I think Juju's floor will be safe enough to start him. But half PPR or standard, I'm going to Emmanuel Sanders just for the upside.
Yeah, that's
what they might not need to throw that much, but I mean he's second on the team in production. He ain't second on the team in targets, but he's second on the team in production. And he has that upside. He like I said, he caught both his deep targets last week, so they are targeting him down the field, so he has more upside than Juju.
Juju's safer, and Emmanuel Sanders has the higher floor.
Emmanuel Sanders,
higher ceiling.
Make sure you subscribe LeBron's And Dynasty Python, shout out on 100
Hey,
subscribers.
thanks, man.
Appreciate that, bro.
Ya.
Hey, it's a celebration.
Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Hey, I forgot where we was at.
We're on to the Rams side of this matchup. So starts, I am starting Darrell Henderson. He is going to play this week. It's already been confirmed by McVay. Rams are averaging 20 attempts per game and a little over 3 targets per game. So that's about 23 opportunities. So they are running the ball and involving their running backs in the game plan. So he's a great start this week. Also saw 4 carries from his side to 5 during his first 2 weeks. So that's that's 2 a game. So that's great to see also. And with them giving them so many opportunities, I think he has top 15 upside this week in a high score matchup. So Darrell Henderson is a smash start this week for me. Tyler Higbee, he's more of a fringe start, but I mean, if you just like the state of tight ends, like if you have Higbee, you probably don't have anybody else better than him. He's ran a route on 86% of Stafford's dropbacks so far this year, and he's caught 11 of his 12 targets so far for 114 yards and a touchdown. So Arizona is giving up the third fewest points to tight ends, but it might be a little misleading because they played Tennessee, Minnesota, and Jacksonville, so they don't really have any great options at tight end. So I wouldn't look too deep into the matchup. And of course, the upside is going to be capped because Cooper Kupp is taking all the targets, bro. He's such a target hog out there. So, but you don't see many tight ends running as many routes as Higbee or as frequently as Higbee does. So I think he's a fine play this week. Another fringe start I got is Robert Woods. The opportunity just hasn't been there so far. It's not what we are accustomed to seeing for Woods. He only has a 19% target share compared to a 35% for that is insane, bro. 35%, bro. But the good news is that it's a high scoring game. And Arizona is allowing the 10th most points per game to receivers. So I think he could be started as a wide receiver 3 this week. And
I'm still at the place where Robbie Woods going to have to earn his way into my lineup again. I can't feel comfortable putting him out there. So the only reason I'm giving Allen Robinson a chance just off the strength of where I drafted him at if I have him. And just because, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't sit my first or second round draft pick because that has kept crippling my team.
Robert Woods or Michael Pittman? 12 targets last 2 weeks. Michael Pittman.
I feel safer. I feel like I got to go with Woods. You got 2 hurt ankles over there with your quarterback. You ain't be able to do too much.
Kenny Galladay.
I think I go
no
Pittman
receivers. You go Pittman. I think I go Woods there.
I'm going Galladay over Woods. Yeah, I'm going Galladay.
I'm going Galladay over Woods. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I think I got Galladay over Woods. I got on 1 spot ahead of Woods right now.
Did we talk about the Giants last game? In the flex, because if we did, I want to mention. Now that we know both wide receivers is out, how do you feel about Evan Ingram?
I mentioned him like I said. I said if he sat, then if those 2 receivers sat, then he should see more targets this week.
I think the matchup not good for him, but yeah.
All right, one more. Tim Patrick or Robert Woods?
Tim Patrick.
I think I go Woods there.
Gotta go Bobby Trees over Pittman. I don't know, man. Pittman getting the targets, man. The volume is there.
Yeah.
All right, man.
I'll go Woods.
On to the next game. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the Denver Broncos with a pick'em. So it's no favorites in this game. Over under 45 points. Lamar Jackson still only thrown 3 touchdowns all year, but has at least 50 rushing yards in each game. So that's what you want to see. Still the number 8 fantasy quarterback. He is going up against the Broncos, arguably one of the best defenses in the league. Giving up the fewest fantasy points to the quarterback position, only 11 points all year, 11 points a game all year. Tyson Williams, Latavius Murray, Devontae Freeman. Williams only had 5 touches last week. That was pretty alarming. I needed him to win. But he didn't come through for me just like the rest of my team. But anyway, he did lead the backfield in snaps. So that's something you want to see. Murray only playing 33% of the snaps and Freeman only playing 16. So I know a lot of people talk about Tyson Williams not getting the snaps, but I didn't think J.K. Dobbins was going to get all the snaps either. So I feel like he's just getting that J.K. Dobbins amount of the workload, and I feel like that's fine. As long as we don't see him start dipping and Latavius Murray start to gain more, I feel like that's fine. Latavius Murray is Gus Edwards, and I'm cool with a J.K. Dobbins substitute. So he still leads the team in targets also, and he's tied with Latavius Murray in red zone carries. The Broncos are tied for first with the fewest amount of fantasy points given to the running back, so it's going to be a rough game for them. But I still think you start Tyson in the rough spot just because of that expected guaranteed volume. The rest of them, I would never think about anyway.
Guaranteed volume. You got 5 touches last week, bro.
I mean, but yeah, that is very true. Well, I said expected guaranteed volume.
Yeah.
I think they gonna run the ball. Well, I don't know what kind of.
I mean, it's a little. If I can go somewhere else where I know somebody's gonna get some touches, some for sure touches, I might pivot.
All right, Tyson Williams or Damian Williams. I mean, Damian Harris.
Yeah.
What Tyson against? I mean, he's going against Tampa Bay, bro.
Tyson Williams or Mike Davis.
Mike Davis. He's still getting a good amount of shares.
I don't know, man. I like Tyson Williams.
Everybody does, bro. I think we all can agree that he's the best running back out there, bro. But I mean, his
matchup is horrible.
Has kind of gone down each week, and then last week, bro, it was weird. They almost lost the game because they didn't run they weren't giving the best running back the ball. It seems like, bro. So it sucks to see, man. I hope hope that doesn't continue, bro. Because, like I said, he is the most explosive running back out there. So
they also did run the ball a lot, period, last week. So it wasn't like they just was. You know what I'm saying? Like the little bit that they did run, he was running the most out of it. So
until they do that, though, until they give him more work, I think I'm viewing him as a running back 3.
I can dig it. I hope they was watching film this week. It's like, damn, my bad, Ty. You the best running back out the group. Damn, my bad, Ty. Look at that play there. All right. You're gonna get more.
You definitely would have won if you took that second, though. That's all I'm saying. Gabe.
What happened? Oh, yeah. But I really
new shiny toy.
I don't even need him either. I don't even need him.
I know, bro. I was like, man, this motherfucker.
It was really just because you don't want to give me Kyle Pitts. Fuck you.
He hating on the trade, blocking another trade just because he can't.
Fuck you, want to give me Kyle Pitts? No, I'm not gonna help your team. Marquise Hollywood Browns or Sammy Watkins. Brown leads Watkins by 3 in target department, 23-20. Brown is still being targeted on 27% of his routes ran, and Watkins is getting a healthy 20%. Both at least seeing 6 targets in all 3 games. And Brown only missed the end zone once, and Sammy Watkins still hasn't found the end zone. Watkins is, I think, a good wide receiver 3. You know what I'm saying? Like I said he would. You know what I'm saying? He's not leading the team in targets. That didn't happen because Hollywood is out here, you know what I'm saying, looking like a compatible wide receiver. But it is a bad matchup. The Broncos are giving up the 9th fewest fantasy points to the wide receiver position. But if they are going to give up points, I guess it will be to the wide receivers. It won't be on the ground. But it's just Baltimore runs the ball so much. Patrick Surtain and Kyle Fuller, both highly graded cornerbacks, giving up under 63% of the catch rate. But I think with the volume, they're both good flex plays. Mark Andrews finally saw his first 100-yard game last week and 7 targets. Now 5 targets in each of his first 3 games. Tied for 7th amongst tight ends with targets. Touchdowns here, that's where he's been struggling at in previous years. That's something he could depend on, but they just haven't been there just because they have more options now. The Broncos are getting up the 3rd fewest points to the tight end position. So if you do have Mark Andrews, I'm pretty sure you can't sit him, but I would temper my expectations just because I don't think he's going to have a good game this week.
I don't think we need to gloss over the fact, though. I think Marquise is clearly the wide receiver to start out there.
For sure.
He had 2 monster games in the first 2 weeks, and he literally could have had another monster game last week. He dropped 3 would-be touchdowns, bro. So he catches one of those, bro. And we're not even he's not even a question.
Thinking about it.
Best guy out there, yeah. So that's not going to happen every week. So I think for me personally, I would start him as like a back end wide receiver 2, and then Watkins as a flex.
But they both startable, though.
Yeah, they both startable. One thing to keep in mind, though, is Bateman is practicing now, though. So It's going to be interesting to see how that kind of divvies up. I mean, he was a first round rookie, bro. We'll see. I don't think it's going to happen immediately, but it is something to keep an eye on.
First round rookie that missed training camp.
That is true. We'll see.
On the other side, last question. Now we appreciate the questions. We just be trying to get through the show. We know y'all want to be here 2 hours. Last question for Kyle. Hopefully you subscribed. 10-team PPR. Would you trade Gaskins for Logan Thomas? Gaskins probably won't even get in my lineup. So are you getting Kyle Pitts or Logan Thomas?
I guess he's just trying to gauge which.
I would rather have Pitts, right? If you can get
I'd rather have Pitts, yeah.
Do that.
But I like Thomas over Gaskins. It's not looking good in Miami, and Thomas is the red zone is a great red zone option in Washington. When they get in there, they look for him, and he's getting his looks in the offense. So, and Gaskins probably on your bench too. Yeah, I like it.
I don't think I would do it for Thomas. I think if I'm going to trade for a running back for a tight end, bro, it's got to be a top 6 option at tight end. And I mean, because Logan Thomas, you could play you could stream, and you're in 10-team PPR also, or a 10-team league, so you could probably find options out there at the tight end position on the waivers. Yeah. But if you could trade for Pitts, I would rather do that.
On to the other side of the ball, we got Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Two Gloves, as I like to call him, the number 20 quarterback overall in a smash matchup. He underperformed last week in that smash matchup. He didn't throw any touchdowns. Baltimore is allowing 22 fantasy points to the quarterback position and the 3rd most passing yards through the air. Teddy Bridgewater is 3rd in third in adjusted completion rate with 83% completion rate and 9th in ADOT with a 9.6. I think he's a viable quarterback 2 this week. I wouldn't start him in 1 QB leagues. I just don't think you can. Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams looked like he was taking over the backfield, but he still finished with a lower snap percentage than Gordon. Gordon playing like 54 to Williams 40% last week. Williams did get his first touchdown. That was good, but then he also fumbled at an inopportune time. Melvin Gordon is getting 10 red zone carries to Williams 7. Baltimore is getting up to 7th most fantasy points to the running back position. And most of those points are resulting from the 5 rushing touchdowns. That's the most rushing touchdowns given up in the NFL. They are allowing the 3rd most reception yards to the running back position also. So I think Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams are both RB3, with RB2 upsides this week. Like right on the cusp. They probably be ranked back in RB2s for me.
Especially in this matchup.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out our rankings, man, go to ffinsession.com for all the rankings and all the fantasy content that we produce out there. Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick, both receivers, had rough games last week in the good matchup against the Jets. The Ravens are middle of the pack against allowing 21.3 points to the wide receiver position per game. This matchup is not as good as it was last week, but Sutton is commanding a 22% of the targets when routes ran. And I think that Sutton is a start. Tim Patrick only getting 16% of the targets route ran, and he's only ran 11 less routes than Sutton. I think I said I would start him over somebody this week, but I feel like I would sit him if I could.
Man, he's been consistent as fuck this year, bro. Tim Patrick. It's so weird to say that because his name is Tim Patrick, bro. But if you get past the name, bro, this guy is he's like almost like early Robert Wood days, bro. Like he's caught 11 of his 12 targets or 12 of his 13 targets so far, scored double-digit points in every game so far. So with KJ Hamler out and then Judy also being out, I mean, I think he's still going to be called upon, bro. So if you need that consistent player as a flex, I like Tim Patrick this week.
Yeah, I don't mind him in the flex
every week almost.
You remember?
It's just weird to say because his name is Tim Patrick. Such a boring football name.
Noah Fant saw 3 targets last week, the lowest he's seen all season. So I think that was just a one-off. They just didn't have to throw that much against the Jets. This week against Baltimore is not a great matchup. Chuck Clark, I think I saw something about Chuck Clark, but I don't want to put out bad news until so. But if you do see Chuck Clark is out, I think I did see that, but I don't know. If Tonio would ever come to the show, he could look this up for us. But hey, shout out to Tonio. He is sick though.
Hope he is?
Feel better. Yeah. Bro. He had got pneumonia and COVID. So
what?
Yeah, but he laughing. He LOL and changing his fantasy lineup, so it's cool.
Damn, bro.
He getting better.
Yeah,
Shout out to him.
it's funny too. I texted like, "Hey, bro, you all right?"
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So if you are starting no offense, just be aware that you were hoping for the volume right there. He's a start. That's all I got.
She kind of threw me out, bro.
No, he said he's straight though.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh at the Green Bay Packers, 7-point Green Bay Packers favorite with a 45.5 point over under. Big Ben looking like complete ass out there.
That play, man, when he threw that ball to fucking Najee Harris and tripped when nobody was even around his ass, bro. Like that shit was so funny, bro.
Oh man, that was worse than like anything Jameis did. Like that was that top bit.
Yeah.
So you remember last week when Javon was taking Big Ben ass out, pretty much saying, bro, he probably should have retired to save face and shit. Like you was on to something, bro. Like I'm not fucking look like straight ass, bro.
Hey man,
what was that, bro?
It's not getting better, bro. It's
the Steelers offensive coordinator said we're gonna stick with what we got. That's crazy. I think they should start Dwayne Haskins at this point. They can't look no worse than that. You know what I mean?
No, bro. Dwayne just gonna he gonna throw that kill up. He gonna throw it up and let anybody catch it up, bro. No, bro.
I don't think it can look no worse to be.
That boy game is a Haskins truther, boy.
Listen, man. He went to the Washington football team. They didn't do my brother right out there. They didn't give him. He was a first round draft pick. They didn't do it. No, bro, you don't give up on the first round draft pick that early. No, if he wasn't black, let's keep it real. If he wasn't black, they wouldn't have gave up on him.
The word is,
look at Josh Rosen. Josh
Rosen
like they
traded him after the first fuck up, bro. He fucked up like 3 or 4 times before they gave up on him, bro.
All he did was go to the strip club, eat chicken, and watch the game.
Like that was part of the rules. Like, bro, you can't do that right now.
I would have a
300-yard game, and they lost the game. He was celebrating. He had a 300-yard game. Like, no,
your mama said.
Hey, Carlos, when you on the bus after if it was a high school, if you on the bus and you drop 20 and the team lost,
high school, yes.
But
we talking about the NFL where you get paid millions of dollars to win games.
Hey, how you know he didn't have himself on his fantasy team in DFS?
All right, bro,
he would be a fucking idiot if he had himself on his
party right now.
No, clearly he wasn't an idiot because he knew he was gonna throw for 300 yards. Ha, got y'all. I won. Put his name on the team.
I don't even think he threw a touchdown that game, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, anyway, man, shout out to Dwayne Haskins. On to the next game. I don't even think we have the next game. Go ahead. We're still talking about Big Ben.
Big Ben, but like we were saying, it's getting ugly out there on the positive side for Big Ben. He's throwing the ball over 130 times, but only completed 83 of those passes. This O-line is not blocking well for Big Ben. He's turning the ball over. It's a sit. Harris, the running back Harris controls the backfield and seen 19 targets last week. Must start. Woo! That's crazy. That's great. Once I seen 19 targets for the guy, I was like, Gabe said he was gonna get 80.
I wasn't thinking about that shit.
He got like 20.
Nah, he didn't say 80. He said like 100 though.
Right.
100. You said he was gonna match what Christian McCaffrey did that year, bro. Not match, but you said he was gonna be in that realm.
I'm like,
I had a number. I can look at my projections. I had a number. Let's see. I think it was 90. I want to say it was 90.
He got 20% of those targets already in one game. That's crazy. But on to the wide receivers. The Packers are giving up 28 fantasy points to the wide receivers group per game. So Claypool is the one that's looking like he's questionable at the moment. We know Juju and Deontay Johnson is playing. You starting Deontay Johnson, he may see a lot of Jair Alexander, so you may want to just temper expectations. So I got him in that back end wide receiver 2 range, early 3. Juju, I feel safe with him as a wide receiver 3. You put him out there, and Claypool is a flex play at the moment until we see what's going on with him. I got anything on that team? I don't need to mention the tight end or nothing.
Actually, I think you should mention the tight end.
Shout out to Jason Moore. The
fruit
is loose.
I was talking about your boy Pat last week. Also, I said he shouldn't be on your waiver wires if he still is. If you're looking at tight ends like in this gross landscape, and I called Dawson Knox too. So hopefully y'all was listening.
I like it. I think it's more of a dynasty play. The first 2 games he played around 50% of the snaps, and the last game he played 36% of the snaps. So I like it more as a dynasty play at the moment. I don't know if it's going to do something in redraft.
He still has to take over Eric Ebron's because Eric Ebron is still getting snaps out there. So I think toward the end of the year, like I was saying, toward the end of the year, I think he'll be one of those tight end ones that we all know, especially with how sorry big the arm is looking. It's looking like he's gonna have to like throw the ball to either Najee or whoever that tight end. And I like it. And I think I had 90 targets at the first. I'm looking at my projections right now, but I think y'all made me change it to 70. But anyway.
We ain't make you do nothing.
I think it's on Twitter somewhere. The hot take is.
Don't blame me, bro.
But yeah, that's all from that game. That's all. I'm good on that game.
On to the other side of the ball, it's going to be pretty quick. You got Rodgers must start, Aaron Jones must start, Devontae Adams must start. None of the other wide receivers don't start. Tunyon has had a tough matchup against a defense allowing the 17th most fantasy points, 2 tight ends in PPR. So he's a sit, and that's pretty much it.
Sound good to me. Shout out to Kenny. I just traded Mixon and LaVisca for Jonathan Taylor and Jonathan Taylor, Dante and Ayuk. I think he came out better now with this. Jonathan Taylor, Dante and Ayuk. I like that side.
Easy dub, big dub,
big dub.
Good trade.
I don't know if you mean dub like is in like W or like dub as in like you got dub. So like hopefully it's like dub and W.
No, that's a dub. I think he means like W. Is that a W? Did I win?
Yeah.
It could be. Man, make sure you subscribe. Shout out to Kenny. Shout out to Mark. So 3 questions. Standard, Fournette or Gordon? I think I like Gordon's matchup better. And Brown or Sutton in the flex in a standard matchup. I think Brown has the more capability to score a touchdown. And Stafford or Herbert?
I think I like Fournette over Melvin Gordon. Same. And Sutton is number 1 guy out there. I know it may seem like a tough matchup, but he's gonna get his targets and has a higher ceiling.
This is standard though, right? This is standard,
I know, so he should get more. He should get more yards, more air yards, and everything. So I think I like Sutton and quarterback. I got Stafford's been on fire, and Herbert's Herbert had I guess last week was his best week so far. He's been struggling, but Stafford's been on fire, and I feel like he should continue that no matter who he's playing. So I feel safer with Stafford.
Yeah, I like Stafford also.
I would go Fournette for the reason Gio's already ruled out. So Fournette was already leading. Between him and Rojo, he had like 14 targets. So he's already been used kind of in the past game, and so he should be used even more with. And I know it's standard, but you still get the yards for that. So I'm going Fournette there. I'm going Sutton in the flex just because he is the number 1 out there, and Antonio Brown has a lot of other options out there. And like the quarterback situation is really a toss-up, bro. But I would go. I have Herbert ranked higher, so I would go Herbert there.
Just the rushing upside, that would be the only thing.
Appreciate you, Mark. I remember Mark from last show. If you haven't liked to subscribe, please do that. We appreciate the love.
Shout out to it's a W like in W. Shout out Kenny. On to the next game you was doing, right?
Yep.
I've been waiting all day for Sunday night and then Tom Brady going to Gillette or something. Ow! Waiting all day for Sunday night to play. Yeah. Tom Brady and that shit was fire. Tom Brady and the Broncos at the New England Patriots. Tom Brady visits Gillette Stadium in a different jersey for the first time. Do you trust Tom Brady? Well, I trust Tom Brady against that Patriots defense. But this is like literally the only defense that would know how to figure Tom Brady out. That's the only thing that would make me be like, damn, I don't know, bro. Like nobody comes to the Patriots and has a good game. So like,
one question. The guy that got them 6 motherfucking Super Bowl rings over there. Yeah. I think he has the best chance to do that shit, bro. He's gonna be like Belichick. This is what I was trying to tell you to do for the past 5 years was give me some goddamn weapons, bro. And I'm about to show you why you should have did that shit. So
And
yeah,
they look
I'm
amazing.
not worried. I'm not worried about it, man.
At all.
The regression did start to hit a little bit for him. He didn't throw a touchdown pass into the end of that game last week, and that was when they were playing catch up, and he got a rushing touchdown. So, I mean, he threw 9 touchdowns through the first 2 weeks. I mean, regression is going to hit for him. I don't think it's going to happen this week against this team. He's going to do whatever in his power to fucking put up a monster game against New England, bro. So
it's just setting up for one of them trap games, bro. It's setting up the storyline. Everybody talking about it. Every sports center show is about Tom Brady going back to Gillette, and Bill Belichick ain't saying shit. And Bill Belichick, it would make Bill Belichick nothing happier than coming out there and making Tom Brady like Tom Brady could go on and win the Super Bowl as long as Bill Belichick stops Tom Brady from like having like a great comeback game. Because he's gonna be salty on the sidelines when like the parade is going on and they like, oh, Tom Brady, welcome back. Yeah,
who got better defense, the Rams or the Patriots?
The Rams.
Oh, okay, and he dropped 28 on them guys, and you worry about the Patriots. Okay.
I ain't worried about him. I'm just saying. What I am worried about is,
like I said, he looked a little average until he had a rushing touchdown and he threw another one at the end of the game when they were playing catch up. But yeah.
My thing is which one of the wide receivers are you starting all of them? Like, are you fading any of them?
I would start all of them. Godwin so far has a 17% target share, averaging 16.6. Evans with the 18% target share, averaging 13.5. And in his first 2 games, AB had a 12% target share through the first 2 weeks and averaging a little under 12 points a game. New England is allowing the fifth fewest points to receivers, but we just mentioned it, man. It's hard not to see Tom Brady lighten his former team up, bro. So I'm starting all of them with so many options in Tampa Bay. We talked about this also before. This is one of the rare cases that I think matchup decides how I rank them. So the easiest matchup in order is Antonio Brown, Evans, and Godwin. So, and then Antonio Brown also has a little bit of revenge narrative also. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, oh, man, I don't know if I can do that, bro. I think I'm going Godwin, Evans, and then Antonio Brown, bro. I'm sorry. I can't put Antonio Brown over them guys yet. So, yeah, I'm going Godwin. No, I'm going Godwin, Antonio Brown, and then Evans, bro. That's how I will rank them.
I want to remind you, week 1, it worked for you when you went AB.
It did. Yeah, it did, man. I'm trusting the process, though, bro.
My process is which of the wide receivers does Bill Belichick think is the best, because that's who's going to be taken away.
Godwin.
Yeah, Godwin is the man, bro. I mean, Evans ain't no slouch.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it might be Evans, man, because you can't not like game plan for Evans, because I think the reason Evans don't go off is because so many people game plan for him and Godwin just gets, you know what I'm saying, like the good volume. So I'll go Godwin, Brown, Evans. That's how my rank is, and I'm gonna make my rankings reflected this week. I'm standing on that. I'm standing on that.
Don't forget about the backs, Los.
Oh, you said that too?
Yeah.
Look at Jabbar. Jabbar ain't saying nothing. Yeah, look over here. Whatever you said. That what you said.
I'm going Godwin's leading team in targets. He's getting peppered with targets a lot. So I like.
We just asked for the line of which one. What is it?
Okay, what's this ladder, bro? Godwin.
What the hell you starting, bro?
Evans and Brown.
We already here. Goddamn 5 hours. Okay.
I like it.
Don't ask me no question then. How about that? Yeah, you sound like. Don't ask me a question.
Y'all questions. How about that?
Right.
All right, man. Moving on. Gronkowski is doubtful, so it doesn't look like he's going to play. In short, I would start him because, again, I think he's going to do whatever he can to fucking make sure Gronkowski has a good game against his former team. So I would start him if he plays, but it's not looking like he's going to play. So I'll just move on.
What you taking on the line on that game?
What is it again?
7-point favorite Tampa Bay.
I think New England's going to cover. I don't think they're going to blow them out, man. Now, I know you said he wants Tom Brady to have a bad game, but I think
it's vice versa too.
The most possible thing I think is he's on game plan for Brady the whole offense. I think they're gonna keep them close. They're gonna keep it close, man.
Yeah, I think they definitely cover that.
Brady about to blow them folks out. But how many?
Actually, I can't wait.
They got to win by 8 points. They got to win by
Broncos averaging. I mean, not Broncos. Bucks averaging about 28 points a game, and Patriots averaging about 14 or so.
It is going to be the time for Matt Jones. Matt Jones is going to definitely have to have a good game. Yikes. Speaking of Matt Jones, I'll definitely don't. It is a yikes situation.
He's trying to finish his take. He gonna let you know about
that. I was leading him. I was segueing him to the other side.
Well, you
I ain't done with Tampa Bay yet, bro.
Oh shit! My bad.
Leonard Fournette is a fringe starter for me. Through 3 weeks, he's out snapping Ronald Jones and has 38 opportunities compared to 17 for Rojo. Tampa Bay finally scored a rushing touchdown last week, but it went to Godwin. So it was, running back has yet to score a touchdown for them. So I like him this week. He has 7 red zone carries compared to just 1 for Rojo. So yeah, it's no way that they're not going to score a rushing touchdown. So hopefully that happens this week. But if not, he's still getting the opportunity. So I like Fournette as like a RB3 play this week.
I can dig it.
Now on to the Patriots.
Right.
Mac Jones, I'm not starting him, man. He's been a better real life quarterback than he has been for fantasy. He's only averaging 11.4 points per game through 3 weeks, and that's 29th among quarterbacks. And that's with him having the 7th most attempts among quarterbacks. So he is throwing the ball out there. He's just not taking really like shots down the field like that. So his upside is just non-existent. So I'm going to sit him. Even in 2 QB leagues, I'm looking for other options because like it's just 11.4, man. It's nothing to really get excited about. Starts Jacoby Myers. I will start him. He has a 24% target share so far through the year and has been targeted 23% of his routes for his career. Now he has 104 receptions and has still yet to find the end zone, bro. Like that is the biggest crazy anomaly of all time almost, bro. So regression is going to hit for him sooner or later, man. He's also near the top of the league in air yards. So he's getting the targets, he's getting the air yards, he's producing on the field. He just hasn't hit that gotten that touchdown yet. So I do think it is a high possibility this week, man. Tampa Bay is a funnel defense. They're super tough to run against, but they are allowing 38 points to the receiver position so far, which is the highest in the league. So, I mean, everything is setting up right for him to finally get into the end zone. But if not, I think he's still going to give you a safe floor and can be started as a wide receiver 3. Sits. Damian Harris, sitting him this week, or I'm looking for other options if you can. He's been dominating the snaps and rushes so far, but he only has 6 targets through the first 3 weeks. So in plus matchups, I think he's a solid RB2. But with Tampa Bay allowing the 10th fewest points to running backs and them being 7-point underdogs, he might get game scripted out this week and has a big chance of it. So sitting Damian Harris if I can.
Not even flexible, you don't think?
I mean, I guess it depends on your other options. We can go through some other options if y'all want, but I'm looking for other options if I can, because it doesn't happen on the ground against Tampa Bay. New England tight ends, I'm saying both of them kind of similar to the Philadelphia situation, but they're just cannibalizing each other's upside. Henry is averaging 4 targets a game, while Jonnu is averaging 5, and it just sucks because the matchup is great against Tampa Bay. They're allowing 11 most points to tight ends, but we don't know which one of those is going to benefit the most from the matchup. So I'm sitting both of those guys. And fringe player is Nelson Aguilar. He hasn't done anything special, but I wouldn't mind him maybe as like a DFS dart throw or just like a desperation flex for everything I just pretty much said for Jacoby. They're allowing the most points to tight end or to receivers so far, and he's been okay. He just hasn't done anything special. So desperation flex play for Nelson Aguilar.
Damian Harris or Trey Sermon?
Sure.
If Mitchell sits.
Yeah,
certainly.
That's the only one I have for you.
How about Damian Harris or Tim Patrick, since it's a flex play?
Tim, I feel like Tim will find the end zone for sure, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Damian Harris, man. I feel like toward the end of the year, we'll have a different opinion on Damian Harris. Hopefully.
It's just this game, bro. It's just this one game.
Exactly. He looks good, bro. Bro, that run he had against the Jets was crazy, bro. Like, he looks great between the tackles, but still not using him as a pass catcher like that. So
But now with James, we didn't mention James White out for the year with a shattered hip or something like that.
JJ, what's his name? JJ.
JJ Taylor.
Or Ramondre Stevenson.
And Brandon Bolden was the guy that filled in last week when James White got out. So they're not trusting Damian Harris out there like that.
On to, are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. Yeah. Monday night football, last game of the episode. Shout out to everybody that been here the whole episode. If you tuned in and you didn't hear your game, it's probably on the first episode. If you don't want to watch us, you can listen to us on the podcast audio version, wherever you listen to this at. We live stream at probably an hour after the stream. The episode will be live on all podcast platforms. So yeah, man, shout out to Monday Night Football. The Raiders are at the 3-point favorite Los Angeles Chargers with an over under 51.5 points. Derek Carr last week against the Dolphins put up his third straight 300-yard game, ninth ranked quarterback in all of fantasy, first in 20+ yards passing attempts and completing 54% of those passes with 10 or more of those being big time throws. Chargers coming off a good game against Patrick Mahomes, graded 8th in the league in pass rushing, sacking him twice and forcing 2 interceptions. So they are a formidable defense. The Chargers are giving up the 7th fewest fantasy points to the quarterback position in the game. But I don't think you can sit Derek Carr right now after he's been like going bonkers like he has been. But it was due to the overtime that he did go bonkers, that he did get to 300 because they did play overtime. So that is something to think about. But the over-under is 51. I think you chase the points with Derek Carr. There's not many quarterbacks out there that you could feel comfortable starting over him. Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake, Peyton Barber. Jacobs now missing 2 straight weeks. Has you heard anything about Jacobs?
He practiced the last couple of days. It's just gonna be tricky, man, because it's a Monday night game. So,
I hate it. So hopefully you got Drake or Barber, but if not, so if you don't have them, would you be willing to wait and see if Jacobs plays? Hopefully Saturday we hear some more news.
Yeah, I would try to get like maybe one of these other pieces, like maybe Jared Cook still out there, maybe Hunter Renfrow still out there, maybe just somebody else that's playing that Monday night game, just so you have
Brandon
somebody.
Edwards.
But you want to move him to your flex position. So if you're planning on having him as RB2, move him to your flex. So you have a chance to pick up somebody in that game. Anybody that's playing in that game, bro. If you need to start Jacobs, like just put him in your flex, and if he doesn't play, just pick up anybody in that game. But if not, if nobody's available, then you have to sit him. You can't chance it.
Yeah, as gross as it sounds, Peyton Barber could be a big part of the Raiders offense. Drake in week 1 or his first week as a starter played 71% of the snaps and only scored 8 fantasy points. Most of that production coming off of those 6 targets. He's seen at least 5 targets in every week, so that is a good thing. Week 3, his snap percentage went down to 43% with Peyton Barber starting to get some workload. He had 57% of the snaps last week with 26 touches, 11 yards and a touchdown his first time, 111 yards and a touchdown. Tripping. The Chargers are giving up the 8th most fantasy points to the running back position and the most yards on the ground all year to the running backs. The 5 targets a game make Drake a flexible start. So his ceiling is capped. So what you know and what you get out of him, hopefully one of those 6 targets is a touchdown, but if not, it's pretty gross. But Peyton Barber, man, in a good matchup for running backs. Oh my God! If Josh Jacobs is out, would you feel comfortable waiting for Monday to start Peyton Barber?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so weird to say, but because they spent $11 million on Kenyon Drake and signed Peyton Barber off the street, and you give him all the touches when Josh Jacobs goes down. So it's great management with your funds out there in Las Vegas. But that's besides the point. Yeah, if Josh Jacobs is out, then Barber is a decent play this week against this defense.
The wide receivers, Ruggs, Edwards, and Renfrow. Ruggs has now seen 7 targets in back-to-back weeks. I think he's seen 5 targets in the first week, if I'm not mistaken. He's graded the number 30 wide receiver, according to PFF, and 17th in yards ran per route run. He's only being targeted on 19% of his routes ran and is running 47% of them out of the slot. So that is a great place for him to be running. A lot of slot receivers get a lot of targets. He will be seeing the rookies, I can't say his name right now. Samuel Jr. I know his first name, but I can't even say it right now. In coverage, he's giving up a 67% catch rate. So I do think this is a great week for Henry Ruggs to be flexible again. I'm so glad that he's finally acting like a wide receiver, a first round wide receiver. Hunter Renfro finally saw the end zone last week. He's still getting targeted on 23% of his targets ran. So you got to start him. Edwards is only being targeted on 12% of his routes ran, and he seems to only produce if it's like overtime or the last minute in the fourth quarter. So I feel like you can still have to sit him. Henry Ruggs and Renfro, I think they are locked in starts for me. And of course, you're going to start the Waller. Still, he's leading all positions on his teams in targets, and he's second in the NFL, like as a collective in targets. That's crazy.
Yeah, when 19 targets in 1 week could do that for you, bro.
That is
last 2 weeks, though, it's been kind of weird. They've at least seen like 7 targets the last 2 weeks. So kind of limits his ceiling. Kind of limits his ceiling, but it's Waller. Number 2 tight end every week.
Yep. Shit. On the other side of the ball, we got Justin Herbert, the number 12 quarterback on the year. 4-touchdown week last week against the Chiefs. Missed 300 yards by 19 yards last week. The Raiders giving up the 10th most fantasy points to the quarterback's position. But however, they are graded the number 1 pass rush against number 1 pass rush in the NFL. And Justin Herbert is only completing 25% of his He's playing 25% of his dropbacks under pressure, and he's completing 61% of his pressure passes while under pressure and he has 1 touchdown. So I think you can feel comfortable starting him. I forgot what was the question earlier. I think it was Stafford or Herbert. I think I would go. That's what I was saying. I think I would still go Stafford. Austin Eckler, number 6 running back in half PPR leagues. Number 6 in targets. I still think he's working back from that injury, so I feel like the volume is only going to keep increasing. So Austin Eckler is still good for me. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, monsters. The only wide receiver duo with at least 30 targets each in the NFL. You start them every week. Jared Cook, only 3 targets in his last game, which was supposed to be a good matchup. Has now only seen 8 targets in the last 2 games and is only being targeted on 17% of his routes run. The Raiders are allowing the 9th most fantasy points to the tight end position. He's no longer startable for me every week. I think if you have other tight ends out there, you can pivot from him. It's just he's not showing up when I need him to. It's just Mike Will made it. And Keenan Allen is really all I want to see out of there.
Yeah, of the draft. You did.
Yeah, for sure. Him and Christian Kirk. One or two.
So far.
It's a long season, though, man. We got 17 games. That's the last game of the episode, man. Like I said, man, shout out to everybody who's been rocking with us the whole time.
Shout outs.
Thanks for the questions. I like that, bro. This is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome. Yeah, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out the website for the rankings and everything else. We'll be on live. I don't know the channel. I forget the channel, but we'll be on live somewhere on Sunday giving out starts and sits.
We'll tweet it out around 11:30 Eastern.
Saturday, probably in the morning sometime, we'll drop our first ever week 4 primer. I guess we could do it every Saturday. That's cool.
Week 4 matchup breakdown. So we can't, out of respect. Let's not.
Oh, out of respect. Hey, rest in peace, Tags,
bro.
Yes,
for sure. He the motivation, so I was just trying to give him a little light. But anyway, wherever you listen to this at, make sure you like, subscribe, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. Shout out to week 4. Fuck Javar. I'm about to fuck him up this week. Yeah, man. Shout out to Tony. I hope you get better, bro. We out.
Peace.
Week 4.